I was very disciplined in business. Even during the years I wasn't taking that good care of myself personally, I had tremendous discipline with my money, in my business, with my integrity, the whole thing. The problem was, is the more money I made, the more opportunities I had to do things I had never had the opportunity to do. And I didn't realize I was having no discipline in those areas. I could drink any hour of the day I wanted. I'm my own boss. I could eat anything I wanted. I could eat as much as I wanted. I could eat the most expensive crap there was in the world, and I could have all of it, but it was not helping my body any. I was packing on weight. I was, having problems from it.
I really
And
like
I
that
didn't
because
realize,
in your document, you did talk about that. You said when self discipline was not required to succeed in business, I lost all my self discipline. I think that happens to a lot of entrepreneurs, right? I think it's
it
been
does.
happening to
And that's
me.
one thing I'm trying to bring up. Like, you know, my partner said, "What are your goals?" He says, "What are our goals this year?" My partner's 33 years old. He's an ex-middle linebacker for a college football team, right? He's a big guy, and those guys can pack on weight fast. You know what I mean? And I'm watching this guy do what we all did, was burn that candle at both ends 14, 15, 16 hours a day trying to get their airplane, their financial future off the ground. And I'm watching him do exactly what I did. And I said, here's my goal. And it's not for me, it's for you. My goal is for you to find more balance in your life, like right frigging now at age 33, and to not give up going to the gym at least 3 times a week, because if you don't, you're going to regret the hell out of it. And I wish I would have done it, and I didn't. And I don't have no reason. I got no room to talk because I didn't do it. I'm telling you, as a 60-year-old man talking to a 33-year-old go-getter, a 60-year-old go-getter talking to a 33, this is what I regret. Please, dear God, you're going to get to it all. Just slow the frick down for just a little bit. And I want you to start taking a vacation every quarter.
That's good advice.
At least 5 days, if not 7. And that was my goals. I said, Mike, I don't need more money. What I need is my partner to have a really good life and a long lifetime, a healthy lifetime. That's what I need. Right now, you're scaring me.
I like that. What's the warning?
It's really easy to get out of balance chasing the damn dollar. And it's so hard to get on top, But I think if we look at our phone usage on Facebook and YouTube and all this shit, I think if you look at your phone usage, you're going to have no excuse for not spending at least 30 minutes to an hour in a gym 3 days a week. If you look at your phone time spent doing jack shit, you have no excuse.
It is true. It is true. I mean, I've been waking up. I just started working out with some guys at my church. We meet a few times a week in the parking lot, and I'm getting up, 5 o'clock in the morning. And when you start cutting some of these things out, you're like, man, you have a lot of time. Like, what did I used to do?
Well, okay, so you just touched on something. I started getting up at 4:30 or 4:30. That was a little too early, so I said 5 o'clock. I did it for like 2 weeks, and I hated it. And so it's not going to work. It's not going to work. This is not going to be my lifelong lifestyle. Yeah. It's not going to work. I don't make myself do shit I hate and expect for it to be a lifetime thing. So I wanted to get up a little bit earlier. It didn't sync with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I quit doing that,
Yeah. I mean, you just got to do what works for you. There was one thing that you said that really kind of hit home with me. You said you were sitting in your community Bible church. You had a pastor, Robert Emmett, said something that resonated with you. He said, most vices start out fun and progress into something that resonated, or most vices start out fun and progress into burdens and then often into demons.
Yeah, he said, he says, if you think about the things that you wish you could get rid of in your life, whatever that is, think about when it started. Man, wasn't it fun? Yeah, it was a blast. And then it got to be where it wasn't so much fun anymore, but you've been doing it for so long. And then they turn into burdens. And then sometimes it turns into demons. I can't tell you how many people I've grown up have died from what we used to have fun at. It developed into the guy that smokes pot on the weekends, started smoking pot every day. Then pot wasn't good enough. And then he moved on to other drugs. And, he died 2 years ago, blew his brains out because he had effectively cut himself off from everything in the name of drugs. He was the guy that said to me, pot isn't a gateway drug. It won't lead to anything. 40 years later, this guy blows his brains out. He's, my friend. Yeah. We had a lot of fun. I never did pot. I never did drugs. I don't know how or why. I guess I was always afraid that I was going to do that one hit of Coke or that one hit of whatever, and I was going to be that personality that got addicted to it.
Yeah.
It's funny because some people can do a line of Coke and then walk away, and then other people can do one line of Coke, and that's it, baby. It's downhill from here.
Yeah.
You're never leaving it again.
Exactly.
So I was always afraid to take that gamble.
So I want to just wrap this up before we go into the last section of the show. One question that you wrote, you also resonated with me. As business owners and entrepreneurs, sometimes we have our identity wrapped up into something, and you obviously had some of your identity wrapped up into alcohol. Like, when you were drinking, you were social and maybe funny. I don't know what that looks like, entertaining. And then you asked that question, who am I without alcohol? And you can replace alcohol with a lot of different things. So, what did you figure out about who you are?
I list a lot of fears in there because I wasn't quitting. I was postponing this date all the time for years, like 2-3 years. I was talking to God, take this away from me. Please take this away from me. Show me how not to do this. And I knew I needed to do it, but I was not committing. And so I kept asking myself, why are you not what are you afraid of, Mitch? What are you afraid of? So I really started to sit and get quiet and think, what am I afraid of? And let it come to me. And what I was afraid of was a lot of things. One was I was afraid I couldn't quit. That was the biggest one. I was afraid of failure. You're like, what if I can't quit? Well, then that's when I made plan B. Okay, let's get rid of this fear. If you can't quit, we're going to get some other help. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to go another level. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's okay. We got to answer for that fear. What's the next fear? I don't know who I am without alcohol. Are people going to like me? Am I even going to like me? Who am I going to be? I don't know who I'm going to be. That scares me because with alcohol, this is who I am. I'm the life of the party. I'm that funny guy. Everybody wants to gather around and hear the next story or the next joke. I grab a spotlight. The switch goes on and here's Mitch.
Woohoo! You can see that.
I'm buying the drinks, around for everybody. So I didn't know who I was without that. And that's a scary thing. There was a lot of fears. Was I going to get invited to the party? Were people just going to not call me anymore because they knew I didn't drink and they're going to get afraid? Well, Mitch doesn't drink, so let's not take him to the river float, 2 days down the river because he doesn't drink and we're going to be drinking. No, call me. I don't need to. You can drink, you can smoke. I don't care. That's between you and them. When I decided to quit drinking, I was deathly afraid of not being invited to the party. So I knew that I was not going to run from alcohol. Like a lot of times, and a lot of people may need to stay out of environments that have alcohol because it's that tempting to them, they're weak enough to fall into it. I was not going to do that because I wanted to be at the party. I still wanted my friends. I didn't want to be left out. But to do that, you got to be able to stand right next to alcohol and not let it screw you up.
Yeah.
So I put a bottle of bourbon on my nightstand and a half smoked package of cigarettes next to it on my nightstand. And every morning when I woke up, I would sit up in bed, turn around, put my feet on the ground. I'd have my ass on the bed and my feet on the ground. And I'd look at that nightstand and I would chew those. I would just chew them out. You son of a, I run this thing. I run this, not you. I run this. You know what I mean? And I would just let them have it every morning.
I actually read that and I was like, oh my gosh, that was just crazy. Because like you said, most people have to have it out of their sight. Can't have it around, take a different way from work so they don't pass the liquor store that they used to, or the bar that they used to hang out at. And you're like putting it right on your nightstand right when you get up. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I did, because one of my biggest fears was I was going to be excluded from everything I knew because I didn't drink or smoke anymore.